Okay, how did you do it, Ashton?
I think I put something the wrong way and I got 3/2 instead.
You got 0 over 2?
No, 3/2.
3 over 2.
Yeah. So what I did was I put the -5 as x1.
Okay.
And I put 1 as x2.
Okay. And what was your y1?
My y1 was 7. I mean no, not 7, 3.
Okay.
And my y2 was 7.
Good. So you set it up correctly. Now, did you use the right formula? What formula did you use for slope?
I put x1, no, not x1, x2 over negative, wait, is this supposed to be y first?
It's supposed to be y on top, okay? Y is in your numerator. The reason y is in your numerator, remember, is because it's rise over run. If we're rising or falling, is that in the y direction or the x direction? It's in the y direction, okay? Remember, y is vertical, x is horizontal. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What's my y2?
7.
What's my y1?
3.
So 7 minus 3 on the top. What's my x2?
1.
What's my x1?
-5.
7 minus 3 should give me 4, correct? 1 minus -5 is 1 plus 5. 4 over 6, 2 over 3. Because you can take out 2 from each the top and the bottom. Do we see it now, Roy?
Yeah, I put -5 minus 1.
Oh. Wait, x1 is supposed to be -5.
Yeah, but like I switched the places.
Oh.
X1 first.
Got it. You did -5 minus 1.
Yeah.
Questions on the warm-up? Okay, guys. This lesson is lesson 5.4. We're learning about point slope form. Let's put our names and let's get this show on the road. Okay, to write and graph linear equations using point slope form. And down below there, guys, underneath our objective is actual point slope form. It is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That is what we call point slope form, where m is our handy dandy slope and x1, y1 is a point on our graph. Any point on our graph. Go ahead and copy this down, and then we'll move on to the next slide. Is this the last class of the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, guys, so the rest of this lesson is applying this information, okay? So I want you guys to take a look.
At this time, please dismiss the varsity men's soccer team with their managers. Thank you.
Okay, so take a look at this graph. x1, y1 is going to be any point on the graph, okay? And that's we're gonna take the y coordinate and subtract it from y, and take the x coordinate and subtract it from x. And then m, which is our slope, is just how much you're rising over how much you're running, okay? So given any graph, we should be able to come up with point slope form, okay? Just like we could for slope intercept form, right? Remember, slope intercept form was y equals mx plus b. This one looks a little bit different, okay? All right. Writing an equation in point slope form. So a line passes through -3, 6 and has a slope of -5. What is an equation of the line? Well, guys, let's start by figuring out what's our m. Our m must be -5 because it says slope -5. Our x1, y1 are going to be -3 and 6, okay? We've got a point and we've got a slope. All we have to do, guys, this is how easy this is we have to write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, okay? From here, we just plug in what we know. So it's going to be y minus y1, which was 6. We plug in the y coordinate, 6, equals m, which is our slope. We're going to plug in -5. And then x minus x1, which was -3, we plug in -3. You can leave it like this, but sometimes they're going to change that minus -3 to just +3, okay? So they're going to make it look like y minus 6 equals -5 times x plus 3. We're done. This is what we call point slope form. Just remember, see how it says x plus 3 at the end inside the parentheses? That just means that your x coordinate is negative. Same thing for y. If it was y plus 6, that would mean that our y coordinate is negative. And we'll do more examples to where this makes sense. All right, problem number 2. Oops. A line passes through 8, -4 and has a slope of 2/3. What is an equation in point slope form of the line? Slope 2/3. That means our m is 2/3 x1 comma y1. What's my x1 going to be? Anderson. 8. What's my y1 going to be? -4. Beautiful. All we got to do is plug those in. So it's going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form of this line, y minus what? What's my y1? -4 equals m. What's my m? 2/3 times x minus 8. Now, is there something that we can maybe look a little bit nicer? Is there something we can make look a little bit nicer? Anderson, what is it? Good. Y plus 4 equals 2/3 times x minus 8. And we're done, guys. This is it.
Where are the tissues?
We actually might not have tissues, but you can use a paper towel if you would like, or go to the bathroom. The bathroom might have some. Questions so far on point slope form? Okay? You guys with me so far? Okay. As it said, what is an equation in point slope form? An equation, you just write y plus 4 equals 2/3 x minus 8. The next part is graphing using point slope form, okay? So when we graph using point slope form, all we're going to do is plot the point, x1, y1, and then use that slope to come up with the next point, okay? What's my slope here? If this is point slope form, Ashton. Good. M equals 2/3. How'd you know that?
Because the slope is in the middle, or the slope is m.
The slope is m. Very good. And m is being multiplied by x minus x1, right? What's my x1? What do you think it is, Alan? It's +2, okay? What's my y1? 1. Okay? So my point is 2 comma 1, and my slope is going to be 2 over 3. Because y minus 1, x minus 2, and we're multiplying it by m, 2 over 3. Okay, so we're going to write this. We're going to draw a little graph. If you guys want to use graph paper, that is perfectly fine. Let's make this our y-axis, this our x-axis. We're going to go over 2 units, so 1, 2, and then up 1 unit. Here's our point at 2, 1. And now our slope being 2 over 3. How are we going to move if our slope is 2 over 3? Roy?
Up 2, right 2.
Good. Up 2, so plus 2, and then to the right 3. So this is 1, 2, 3. So that we'll be at 5 in the x direction and up 2. So 3 in the y direction. All you're going to do once you've got those 2 points is draw a line connecting both of them. Yep.
Do you have to draw a graph each time?
Yes. If it says, what is the graph? Do you see how this question says, what is the graph of the equation? In the previous, you didn't have to graph it. But if it asks to graph, what is the graph? Then you have to graph it. Okay?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to do one more just like this. Guys, does anyone need more time on this slide? We're almost there, guys. We've only got 2 more problems. Okay. What is the graph of the equation y plus 7 equals negative 4 over 5, x minus 4? What's my slope? Negative 4 over 5. x1 comma y1. What's my x1? 4. What's my y1? I heard 7.
7.
It's not 7.
Oh. Minus 7.
Negative 7. Why is it negative 7, guys? Ashton?
Is it because of the plus?
Good. It's because of the plus sign. Very good.
Because if number 4 was after it was a negative.
Correct. Because we write it as y minus negative 7, right?
Yes.
So negative 7 is our y coordinate, our y1, equals negative 4 over 5 times x minus 4. Okay? You guys see that now?
Now we would change that. Now we would change that minus into a negative. When I say minus, I mean plus.
Yes. So you change the plus into a negative and just put it as negative 7. Okay? So our x1, y1, our point is going to be 4 comma negative 7. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and plot 4 comma negative 7. And then we find the slope from there. Excuse me. X and y coordinate or axes. We're going to go to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 7. Okay, our slope is negative 4 over 5. So we're either moving to the left or we're moving down 4, but we're not doing both. Okay? So let's say we move up 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 4. Should I move to the left 5 or to the right 5, and why? Tessa?
To the left,
Why?
because you're already in the negative, so it's just like positive.
Good. I already went up 4, so the 4 needs to stay positive. So we have to make the 5 negative, so move to the left. So we're going to move to the left 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here's our second point. This point is -1, comma, -3. No. Yeah, -3. And then this point was 4, comma, -7. Okay, guys. Now we're going to be given a graph and we're going to be asked to find what is an equation of the line at the right. Okay? So we could be given a graph or we could just be given 2 points. All right? I want you guys to copy down this graph on the right side of your notes. I'll give you a second to do that. So go ahead and copy down this graph on the right side of your notes. Okay. So let's write down the points. 1, 4, and -2, -3. What we first have to do, we have a point, right? We can make either of these points x1 and y1. But in our slope-intercept form, we're missing the slope part. We're missing the m. Remember, m is our slope, and that's just going to be equal to, let's say, make this x1, this y1. This x2 and y2. And remember, m is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're just finding the slope of this line, okay? You could also calculate it just by finding the rise over the run, and we'll see how they're the same. y2, which is -3, minus y1, which is 4, over x2, which is -2, minus x1, which is 1. So this is going to be -7 over -3, which is the same as 7 over 3.
Why does it change?
What's that?
Why does it change
What do you mean, why does it change?
from negative to positive?
Because if you have a negative divided by a negative, those negatives can cancel.
Well, why are you like dividing?
Because it's -7 divided by -3, rise over run.
I'm just gonna take a picture. I didn't get the copy of. I'm not getting copy it all down, but it's fine.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm not sure I'm understanding your question, Roy.
Like, why would you divide it? Sorry. I don't really know how to put it.
So if it's like 1 over 3, right? You agree that this is the same as 1 divided by 3?
Yeah.
So if we have negative 1 over negative 3, that's the same as negative 1 divided by negative 3.
Which would be just like, it's like, I don't know how to put it.
So let's look what happens when we find the slope. So let's say from this point, how much do we rise to get to the next point? Well, we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, minus 7, right? So we know our slope is rise over run, which is negative 7 over, and then we move to the left 1, 2, 3 units, minus 3.
Oh, I get it, because you can't make it negative since it's going up.
So if we went from this point, Roy, to the other one, we would have to go up 7, right?
Yeah.
And then over 3 to the right. So those would both be positives. You either are both positive or both negative, or you've got one positive, one negative, one positive, one negative.
Okay, but, okay, if the arrow is going to the left, then I can just keep it negative 7 over.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Nicole?
I'm confused. Where are we getting the 1, 4?
Okay, so that was given to us in the point. So that was a point on our graph.
Okay.
So they gave us 1, 4, and they gave us negative 2, negative 3.
Okay, so that would be on the test, right? That
Correct.
they give us the point.
They would absolutely give you the points. But it could look like a graph, or they could just tell you, okay, these are the 2 points, put it in slope-intercept form. You would find the slope first, so we found 7 over 3, right? Now all we're going to do is write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You're going to use the same x1 and y1 from the beginning, right? So our x1 was 1, our y1 was 4. So this is going to be y minus y1, which is 4, equals m, which we just found is 7 over 3, times x minus 1. We're using these down here. And we're using this down here. Good questions, guys. I like the questions. I appreciate them. That means that you're paying attention. Okay, guys, last example, and then we've got our practice, okay? All right, using a table to write an equation. The table shows the altitude of a hot air balloon during its linear descent. What equation in slope-intercept form gives the balloon's altitude at any time? What do the slope and y-intercept represent? Okay, so I need someone, Alan, pick any point on this chart.
1060.
1064. And Tessa, pick another point, any point.
9440.
9440. Okay? All we're going to do is rewrite those 2 points next to it. So we've got 10, comma, 640. And we've got 90, comma, 440. Okay, guys. We're going to do the exact same thing that we just did where we had 2 points, right? We're going to find the slope, and then we're going to use one of these points as our x1, y1 and write an equation, okay? So let's start off by making one of these x1 and y1 and one of these x2 and y2. Before we find the slope, why do I already know that the slope is going to be negative? Roy?
Because you're subtracting 440 from, or you're subtracting 640 from 440.
Okay, yep. But look at the chart, the name of the chart. Hot air balloon descent.
It's going
it's going down, right? If it's a descent, we already know our slope should be negative, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and write the slope formula. Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Rise over run. My y2 is 440, and just like Roy said, we're taking 440 minus 640, and we're dividing it by x2, which is 90, minus 10. Okay, 440 minus 640 is going to be negative 200 over 90 minus 10 is just 80. Do you guys notice a common factor between 200 and 80? 20. 200 divided by 20 and 80 divided by 20. 200 divided by 20 is just 10. 80 divided by 20 is 4?
Or yeah.
Just 4, right? Is there still something in common? What? 2. So we can divide by 2. We get 5 over 2. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It should be negative. Thank you. Negative 10. That should have been a negative 10 over 4 and then a negative 5 over 2. What did we just find? The slope. In other words, in our equation, what is that? M. This is our M. Okay? So we found M. All we got to do is plug it in. I need someone to be a brave soul and attempt at saying the entire equation for me in slope intercept. I'm sorry, not slope intercept, point slope form. Anderson, you brave enough?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Alright, it's gonna be y minus 640
Mm-hmm.
equals negative 5 over 2 x minus 10.
Beautiful. Boom, bada bing. Who can tell me, how does this look different than y equals mx plus b? What are some differences between them? Between this and slope intercept form. Roy?
You don't have to
Okay, there's no b. Very good. B is not really that clear. What else is different?
you have x1, y1 in the formula.
Okay, x1 and y1 in the formula. Also, always note, guys, when it's slope-intercept form, y is by itself on the left side, right?
Did Alan Andre get to class?
Yes, he's here.
Yes.
All right, guys, that's it for the notes. Go ahead and turn them in. Oops.